Hello, gentlemen. Jeff Sanchez, children's rights advocate here again. This also comes from a brilliant sociologist named Esther Vilar, who females tried to kill back in the 70s. Women's voices. A pile of linen, neatly ironed, lies neatly in the closet. The roast is nicely browned all over. A curl falls in exactly the right place, over the forehead. The pink of the nail polish matches exactly the pink of the lipstick. The laundry, clean and fresh, is fluttering in the breeze. 10 pairs of shoes stand clean and shiny in a row. The windows are polished till they make the passers-by blink. The husband went off to work on time. The children are playing in the sun. Everything is perfect in women's world, is 100% in order. At such time, their sense of pleasure and happiness reaches its zenith. And just to make sure this exhilaration lasts, a woman will quickly bake another cake, water the rubber plant near the living room window, or get on with knitting a sweater for her youngest child. Those who do not work have very different pleasures from those who do. A woman does not laze around on the couch surrounded by newspapers. Man's ideal of idleness is quite different, and that is why she appears so industrious to him. A woman does not want to stay at home just to rest. After all, what does she have to rest for? But she is addicted to pleasure and needs the time for her pleasures. And what are they? Baking cakes, ironing the laundry, making clothes, cleaning windows, curling her hair, painting her toes, and sometimes, even if willing, comes to this later, doing a little shorthand and typing just to make sure that no one recognizes the fact that for her, all this is pleasure. She calls these pleasures housework. She is only indulging in orgies of personal hygiene to please her partner. And one of her silly little pleasures is to sit at a desk in an outer office translating ready-made thoughts, ready-made since they are provided by professional men, into visual medium. Well, let her call it stimulating work. In this way, women and her protege indulge in a great permanent party and live in a world of freedom and rationalized happiness removed from any responsibility. They occupy a realm man would never dream of, a world he believes to be the domain of hippies, a life to be found perhaps in the carefree South Islands seas, but never so close to home. Of course, there would be nothing to object to in this harmless orgy of pleasures if only men recognized them for what they really are. But it is a pity that they ruin their own lives believing that woman's lot is worse. It is quite impossible for a man to imagine that these represent happiness to the opposite sex. They would have to realize that it is a woman's nature to be able to enjoy amusement at the very lowest and most monotonous level. And such boundless idiocracy is beyond male comprehension. Not even psychologists can grasp it, although they spend their entire lives studying the female mind. Being men, they must find it more interesting than their own, but it would never occur to them for a moment that a woman's so-called psyche is unfathomably merely because of the absence of intelligence. That feminine work appears unattractive to the male only because because he is incapable of imagining the required degree of stupidity necessary to enjoy it. These experts have discovered that most subjects that girls do well in do not require thought and can be memorized, such as languages. To have a good memory can, as it is well known, also be a sign of feeble-mindedness, or that, like mathematics, follow strict rules. Again, are learned by rote. While other subjects, psyches, chemistry, biology, are beyond them. From this, it does not follow that these girls lack intelligence, but there is a typical feminine intelligence. That this kind of intelligence is a developed, not innate kind of stupidity. The last original thought the average female child utters will be around the age of 5. After that, her complete imbecile mother takes care to suppress any sign of budding intelligence. Most men will never admit the depths of their wives' stupidity. They agree that women are not terribly clever, but grant them intuition or instinct instead, and they like to call this feminine instinct as opposed to animal. Unfortunately, this famous feminine instinct is really nothing but an euphemism for statistical probability. Women interfere and give opinions about almost everything, and since they are so stupid, they don't realize that they are making fools of themselves. According to the law of averages, their predictions are negative of vague banalities such as, it can only end in disaster, or I'd stay clear of that if I were you, or your so called friends will only let you down in the end, are meaningless. Anyone would be safe making such generalizations, and if occasionally women do see more clearly than men, it is only because their feelings, unlike those of men, are never involved. Woman's silliness is but the natural result of her attitude toward life. By the age of by the age of 5, any girl will have been persuaded that she wants to get married and have a home and children. And when girls are 10, 15, or 20, they still want the same exact things. So if a woman decides, even as a child, to live at a man's expense, what good will reason and intelligence be to her? How can she determine what kind of man she will marry? She must keep her mind free for her future men. Otherwise, she could not respond to all his inclinations and interests and praise him for them. Take care.